of Greed! This card allows me to draw 2 new cards. Greed is good.
I play the magic card, Pot of Greed. It allows me to draw 2 cards from my deck.
The magic card, Pot of Greed. Thanks to this card, I can now draw 2 new cards from my deck, Kaiba.
I'll play this, my Pot of Greed, a magic card that allows me to draw 2 more cards from my deck. I play my Pot of Greed card.
I think my luck is beginning to change now.
All right!
Pot of Greed lets me draw 2 cards.
Now I play the magic card, Pot of Greed, allowing me to draw 2 more cards.
Excellent. I play this, Pot of Greed. It allows me to draw 2 new cards to refresh my hand. I activate the magic card, Pot of Greed. It allows me to draw 2 more cards.
This could be exactly what I needed. Now I activate Pot of Greed, which lets me draw 2 cards. I just hope these 2 cards can help me out.
I'll play a magic card. My Pot of Greed. It lets me draw 2 cards.
Pot of Greed lets me draw 2 cards from my deck.
Next, I activate the magic card, Pot of Greed. Now I can draw 2 more cards.
Now, I activate my Pot of Greed magic card, so I can draw 2 cards.
Then I'll activate my Pot of Greed. This lets me draw 2 cards.
First, I'll play my Pot of Greed magic card, letting me draw twice.
I'll begin by activating my Pot of Greed. This lets me draw 2 more cards.
First, I'll play a magic card known as Pot of Greed, so I draw 2 cards.
I play Pot of Greed. You know what that means, don't you? I can draw 2 additional cards from my deck.
I activate my Pot of Greed magic card. Now I can draw 2 more cards from my deck.
Second, I activate Pot of Greed, which lets me draw 2 more cards from my deck.
First, I activate my Pot of Greed magic card. That lets me draw 2 more cards.
I activate the magic card Pot of Greed. That lets me draw 2 cards from my deck.
The magic card Pot of Greed. This allows me to draw 2 more cards from my deck.
And thanks to Pot of Greed, I can draw 2 cards.
I'll begin my turn by activating the magic card Pot of Greed. That allows me to draw 2 more cards from my deck. I'll start by activating the magic card Pot of Greed, which lets me draw 2 more cards from...
But I'm not done yet. Next, I play Pot of Greed. This allows me to take 2 cards from my deck and add them to my hand.
I'll start by activating Pot of Greed. And you know what that means. I get to draw 2 new cards.